All right, right about now in the five series, we're going to touch on five records that don't have that heralded and celebrated hard bop Blue Note sound. Okay, Blue Note is a vast and expansive label, but there's a particular sound that it's known for, and these records don't really touch on that sound. They're in their own realm, so to speak. Anyway, we kick it off with Sidney Bechet. The reason I mentioned this record because Sidney Bechet is kind of he's earlier jazz, right? 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on. So it's like it was interesting to me to see him on Blue Note. This is a collection of Sidney Bechet tunes. Sidney Bechet was he's a pioneer. He's a highly influential and important jazz figure. He was an abrasive man. He was definitely a character. He shot a man in Paris apparently, and did time in jail and so on and so forth. He was just one of those guys, but very important artist. And Blue Note put out a collection of his music. There's a track on here called Blue Horizon, which is just perfection. Anyway, moving on swiftly, Art Blakey and the Afro Drum Ensemble. The great Art Blakey, a stalwart of Blue Note, put together this session with some African drummers, and it's a vibrant, live, percussive jam fest. And it's great to see Art Blakey going back to his roots, to his African roots on this record, because he's the most intuitive of drummers to me. So it just suits being in an ensemble like this. This is a great record. I'm glad I found it, and it was actually a gift from a friend indeed. Um, Eric Dolphy, Out to Lunch, highly celebrated record, uh, seen as one of the best of the avant-garde recordings that came out during the 60s, avant-garde jazz, which you don't really associate with Blue Note. That's why it is on this list. It's a very important record. It is an iconic record, and that lineup: Freddie Hubbard, Bobby Hutcherson, Richard Davis on bass, and Anthony Williams on drums. A young Anthony Williams, that just says it all. Classic. Next up is Solomon Ilori, who plays on that Art Blakey record. Solomon Ilori. This is like an African high life record. I don't think Blue Note's ever done anything really similar since this record. They were going out into different waters, edgier waters, and it's a great listen. All right, it is an uplifting record, and it is a record to be cherished. It's just a record you should definitely just check it out. It's a vibe. You just ride along to it, and it's a celebrational record. So that's pretty much it. Great record. And next up is Eddie Gale's Ghetto Music. This is on Blue Note. Once again, it doesn't have that Blue Note sound. It's like free jazz, meditative free jazz, some gospel and some soul. I believe he has two bassists and two drummers in this lineup, and sometimes it comes across as an onslaught of sound, but it's just overwhelming, but in a good way. It captures you and it holds you, and you just like call up in the vibrancy of it. Right, it's a very energized record, and it's a great record. Like, look at this cover, bit about that life, but it's not a typical Blue Note record, as none of these are. These are five albums on Blue Note that kind of don't have that Blue Note sound. Where Hi-Fi Recluse, our label is Good Fine Records. Let's get it.